Yo, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Rabbit, back at you today with another Call of Duty mobile video. And in today's video, I'm going to be giving you all my personal best sensitivities, settings, and HUD layout. Now, after this intro, we are going to be going into the settings, and I will say that some of these I'm really not that familiar with, and I don't know what they do. So the ones that I don't know, I'm really not going to be covering, and they're going to be off anyway, so they don't really matter. But with all that being said, we are going to go ahead and hop into the settings. Alright, so going into our basic settings, some of these are pretty basic, no pun intended. But like I said before, some of these I'm not really familiar with, so I'm really only going to be touching on the ones that I have tweaked and that some of you all may not be familiar with. So just starting off, the joystick auto sprint I personally turned off because I never used anyways. The perspective teammate, for those who don't know, is really helpful. What it does when you turn it on is you can always see your teammates through walls, no matter where they are across the map. And why that is so handy is instead of looking at your mini map for arrows to see where people die, you can visibly see them die on your screen. Like, you know where they are, where they died, so that can give you information as to where an enemy may be. So that's why I turned it on. If you all don't have it on, I highly recommend it. The one tap weapon switch button I turned on. So what that does is instead of actually clicking on your weapon icons to switch to a secondary or primary, it actually pops up a separate button that you can press that'll automatically switch to your secondary or primary weapon. And really those are like the main ones. Oh, and the hide prone button I turned off, so it will actually show me a prone button, so I can drop shot and just easily prone when I need to instead of having to hold the crouch button. So that comes in handy. Moving on, the damage number I turned on and turned the visibility all the way up. So when I'm firing at people, it will actually show me the damage that I am putting onto them. And why I turn that on is if I'm taking a gunfight and I see that I'm doing, let's just say 18, 19 damage with assault rifles or 17 damage with SMGs, I know that that's not really like the primary range that I need to be taking those gunfights with said weapon. So that will give you information like, hey, maybe I need to get closer, or this isn't really the gunfight that I need to be taking. So if you don't have that on, I do recommend you put that on. I do have tap to ADS, display left fire button. So what that does is separates two separate firing buttons. One that you can press and hold to go ahead and ADS, so you don't have to press the ADS button. And then there's another button where you can just press and hold to hip fire. And I will show you why I have that on. Slide while running, tap crouch while sprinting. I don't know why people would want to hold the button. Always sprint I have on. I do not play S&D. I probably should take it off just so I can hide my footsteps in certain situations, but this is a personal preference for me. I don't play gyroscope, so we don't need to cover that. My camera FOV I have at 75, and my FOV I have at 100, and what that does is basically just places your weapon either closer or farther away from your body. My marker settings, I did not touch the scale. I just turned down the opacity so they don't block my view, but I didn't turn them all the way down because there are instances where I need to know where certain things are, so I don't want it to be completely invisible. And then my mini-map settings, all of this is just personal preference, but if you all would like to use this, be my guest. And we're gonna go into our sensitivities. Now for my sensitivity, this first one, the rotation mode, I do have speed acceleration on instead of fixed speed, which most people use. And instead of trying to explain what it is, I actually have a clip for you all to watch to give you better insight on what this is. So this is the example of fixed speed sensitivity. So I'm going to put my thumb almost directly in the middle of my screen and swipe as fast as I can. And that's about as far as I can turn with my sensitivity where it is with fixed speed acceleration. That's about as far as I can turn. Then with speed acceleration on, I'm pretty much doing a 360 now. So it all depends on how fast you move your thumb across the screen. So that's why I use it, because it can come in handy when I need to turn fast and my sensitivity, if I had it on fixed speed, doesn't allow me to swipe as fast as I would want to. So yeah, that's the difference. My sensitivity presets I have custom so I can make my own sensitivities, and I'm really not going to go through the numbers. This is just my standard sensitivity and all the rest of it, so I'll just go ahead and start swiping down. The tactical scopes I don't use, so don't really take this into consideration unless you do use tactical scopes. And if you do, you probably already have your own sensitivity that you use, so you can just discard that. The firing sensitivities are all the same as my camera sensitivity, and if you all do not have your firing sensitivity the same as your camera, then you need to go ahead and switch those over. I don't play gyro, so all these sensitivities don't matter. Before we jump into my HUD, I am going to explain why I have the left fire button on. So in the settings, into advanced mode, you have all of the different weapon categories, and you either have ADS or hip fire. And if you turn on hip fire, you will always have to hit the ADS button in order to aim down your sights, obviously. So I have ADS on, which enables me to press and hold the firing button that will automatically aim down my sights for me. And that comes in handy in certain situations where I'm like caught off guard and stuff like that, so I don't really have to worry about hitting my ADS button. Again, personal preference. So we'll go ahead and jump into my HUD. And if you all haven't been able to tell in my videos, I am a 3-finger claw player, which means that I play with both of my thumbs and my left index finger. Some people play with their right index finger. It really doesn't matter. But my firing buttons are in the top left-hand corner along with the scoreboard, and I use my index finger for all 3 of these. I use my left thumb to use my joystick and call in score streaks and nukes if I get them. And then on the right hand side of the screen, basically every button I use my right thumb for. And the reason why I switched to 3-finger claw is it gives you more of an advantage as far as movement within a gunfight and just movement overall. So why I do recommend it is when you're taking a gunfight, when you're only playing with 2 thumbs, you do have to take your thumb off the firing button if you want to jump, crouch, prone in the middle of a gunfight. And using 3-finger claw lets you still, engage in a gunfight, and you're able to do any 3 of these options. So that's why it is more of a boost and gives you an edge. I have tried to play 4-finger claw. I just can't get the hang of it. I would like to try to practice some more, because that is probably the best way to play and gives you the best advantage. But for now, I am a 3-finger claw player, and I will say ever since I switched, my gun skill and just my overall skill in the game has improved greatly. And like I said, I highly recommend you all try it. If you do want to try 3-finger claw, this is, in my opinion, probably the best HUD layout for you to use. So yeah, I think that'll wrap things up for today, guys. So we'll go ahead and exit out of here. But yeah, let me know down in the comments what you all thought. And I will be uploading a Type 25 video here in the next couple days. So stay on the lookout for that just to see how it holds up in the current meta. But yeah, we're going to wrap it up for today, guys. As always, like, share, and subscribe if you enjoy my content. And I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.